Hey, almost everybody on the Dodgers had a good night tonight. The guys who had a bad night made it a little nerve-wracking, but overall, Dodgers win the game. That's a good thing. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the other good here on this episode of All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my mom's basement here in Pleasant Grove, Utah, along with Clint's Dead Mom's Basement in La Puente, California, and Kevin's Dead Dad's Kitchen in the Chicagoland area. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network, brought to you by FanDuel, coming to you live post-game after the Dodgers won Game 1 of the Wild Card Series 10-5 over the Reds of Cincinnati, Cincinnati Cincinnati, as you recall from last night. Dodgers win the game 10-5. You know what? It must have just been nothing but rainbows and unicorns, right, guys? Dodgers won by 5 runs. Seems like a pretty easy win, so it should be a totally positive episode, right? Yeah, unfortunately.
Listen, this was a 7-inning game, right? That's all this was.
You know what? It might as well have been. I did promise our Discord that we are getting, Clint, you used to refer to me as the voice of reason. You still do sometimes. I promised them we're getting a voice of reason episode because I just watched you and Alana on Dodgers territory. I feel like you guys got the angst out a little bit. I definitely want to focus on the fact that the Dodgers scored 5 more runs than their opponent today and won a very important baseball game. And I'm even going to get a little bit into the specifics of why even the part that sucked wasn't as bad as maybe people think. But first, I want to talk Blake Snell because Blake Snell was absolutely dominant today. He was 2 different times he was 2 inches from having 7 scoreless innings. Freddie Freeman almost catches that line drive, and Ellie De La Cruz is almost out at first. If either of those things happen, 7 scoreless innings for Blake Snell. Instead, he allowed 2 runs in 7 innings. So what? Went deeper than any of the 3 of us predicted earlier today. Gave up more runs than I think Kevin's the one who predicted 2 runs because Kevin's a jerk.
Yeah.
But Blake Snell was absolutely dominant for 7 innings in a way that was a lot of fun to watch, Clint.
Yeah, that made me feel very good about the Dodgers spending money that I have no access to. He was electric. He was dominant. Sure, it's the Cincinnati Reds, but it's the postseason. Every baseball team has a chance. We talked about that last night. It is a crapshoot. And if you have good starting pitching, more likely than not, that is going to beat good hitting or bad hitting, and it beat bad hitting tonight, and it makes me feel really, really good about the state of this rotation getting deeper into this postseason if they're able to, because that bullpen. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bullpen next. We're in the positives right now because Blake Snell was really good, right, Kevin?
Yep, he was. My concern with him, my prediction was I think it said 4 1/3 yesterday, was I didn't think he'd be efficient because he just that's not his MO. The Reds came out swinging early and often, and they did him a lot of favors. I think he had like 12 pitches through the first, or he had 12 pitches in innings 2 and 3 or something like that. Like if you're gonna let Blake Snell be efficient, you're gonna get this version of Blake Snell every time. The broadcast, I was listening to the radio call because as we all experienced, ESPN needs to stop being allowed to broadcast games because that's pretty bad. I watched the broadcast, but I had Steve Nelson and Rick Monday on.
Steve.
Your buddy Steve.
Nelson.
Stevie boy.
Steve.
Steven.
I had them, Steve and Nelson, in the background, but they kept mentioning how good his changeup looked, and it did. It looked absolutely filthy. It was a complete weapon against right-handed hitters. They just didn't have an answer for it until they eventually did. But at that point, the game, in our opinion, was far out of reach. Although the bullpen might have thought otherwise.
Yeah. Although, and you know what, we gave Blake Snell his props. Let's really quickly point out that over on FanDuel, the Dodgers' the odds to win this series are now at -950. Dodgers were the favorites coming in. Now that they're up 1-0, just need to win one of the next 2. It goes up even more, especially when you factor in that Yoshinobu Yamamoto tomorrow pitches against what's his name? Zach Littell.
Zach
So
Little.
for tomorrow's game, Dodgers are minus 250 favorites to win tomorrow's game, minus 950 to win one of the next two games. All right, we got that out of the way, the good. Let's talk about this negative, because the fact is, for all of this, the Dodgers bullpen almost blew this game talk. The game was never within 5 runs. The tying run was never at the plate. The Dodgers dominated this game, and they won the game easily. And yeah, like we could say, well, but if they had done even worse than they did, then they might have lost, which that's the definition of every baseball game ever. If you look at this today, Alex Vesia had a bad game. Not terrible. He faced 3 batters to get up a hit, a walk, got an out. You know, if they leave him in, he probably gets through that inning, but I think it's the right call to pull him out there. You know, Edgardo Henriquez is the only guy on this team, the only pitcher who you can say had a terrible, terrible game. He faced 3 batters, gave up a hit and 2 walks, couldn't find the strike zone. Edgardo had a terrible game. Jack Dreyer, yes, he walked the first guy he faced, then he got the next 2 guys out. If Dreyer had been pitching a clean inning, we wouldn't even remember that he walked the first guy he faced. It would have been inconsequential. The reason it mattered was because the bases were loaded, because Edgardo Henriquez was terrible. You know, and so what you end up with is you have Blake Snell was great. Blake Trinan was great at the end. Alex Vesia had a bad night. Edgardo Henriquez had a terrible night. Jack Dreyer had a good night. Like, and know who didn't pitch? Emmett Sheehan, Roki Sasaki, Justin Robleski, Tyler Glasnow. You know, the guys who would have pitched if this had been a close game. Alex Vesia is the only guy who you could say, well, he's a high leverage guy that brought in, but Vesia has been struggling lately too. I think this was a get back on your horse kind of outing, and it didn't work out. Alex Vesia, I think there's reason for concern. Edgardo had a 6.4% walk rate this year. He had a 67% walk rate tonight. He was uncharacteristically bad. And like I said in our Discord, the thing I like about uncharacteristic things is that they usually don't happen because they're uncharacteristic. Edgardo is not going to walk 2/3 of the batters he faces. He did tonight, but in general, he's going to be better than that. And that's why you have low leverage guys to pitch when you're up 10-2.
The problem is Alex Vesia is a high leverage guy who did not have it tonight. I also want to pause to shout out the chat. You guys are killing it. We are going to get into some chat. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. I already said a lot of my piece on the bullpen, so I'll mostly defer to Kevin to say his words here. But I texted you guys after that inning was over. They're going to win this game, but that's still a massive blow to the bullpen psyche. That was already kind of struggling, already kind of teetering with their identity as dogs entering this postseason. You had a nice weekend against the Mariners. This didn't necessarily help. Now you hope this is just getting it out of the way and we can just ride the rest of the way, but it wasn't ideal for game 1.
Yeah, it's not ideal for sure. Kevin?
Yeah,
Kevin.
I think more than anything, for me today, it seemed Dave kind of tipped his hand on who he actually trusts in high leverage situations, because you look at how that inning went. They go with Vesia, who has been struggling lately, which we've all seen it. He has not been his characteristic self. After playing the result, I wonder if Dave was just trying to see if Vesia could find it today in a low leverage, get him into the playoff atmosphere, get his feet wet. Then he goes to Edgardo Henriquez, kind of the same thing. He's been good, but never pitched in a playoff game, or he's pitched in a playoff game, but it was just last year, very briefly. So, again, getting his feet wet. And then once, things started spiraling, okay, here comes Jack Dreyer. Next guy up, Emmett Sheehan. Like, I think, like Jeff had mentioned, what told me more than anything was who we didn't see in the game today, for sure. And when we could have seen them, I would guess that, if it was closer, Dave probably would have gone to Robleski or Sheehan for multiple innings, as opposed to, letting Vesia or Edgardo Henriquez take down an inning. And I think the same thing basically happened with Trinan. It's okay, you've been bad. It's the playoff time. Can you find something in the playoffs when he's generally been very, very, very good for this team? And he looked really good outside of the first 2 pitches he threw. He looked very Blake Trinan-like, dotting his fastball. Four seam had a lot of life, sinker, landing it on the outside corner. Like it looked good. It looked like Blake Trinan. So I know we talked yesterday about how Dave and the front office have basically used the entire, regular season to determine who they trust in come the playoffs. I have a feeling they kind of did that again today a little bit.
Which is what you do when you're up 10-2. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So
That's the right
it
time
felt
to do
bad.
it.
It felt bad, but I'm still, until Sheehan blows it and Roki blows it and Glass down, all those guys that didn't, show up today that we haven't really seen in the bullpen, until they unravel at the seams, I still feel pretty good about this bullpen. Like, I know people are talking about like, oh, if they're playing the Phillies, we're just gonna get like destroyed. My guess is you probably won't see Alex Vesia against the Phillies unless he's facing like specifically like Harper, Schwarber, and like their big lefties.
Yeah, and I don't really worry about the psyche thing, because I don't think there's anything that Emmett Sheehan is thinking, wow, Edgardo couldn't throw strikes tonight, and therefore I am worried about myself, Like, I just, let's jump to some super chats. Seth Klein says we're talking bullpen. $5 super chat from Seth. He says this bullpen is not going to cut it. Blake looked good, though. Thank you, Seth.
Appreciate you, Seth.
Yeah, like I said in the comments, I don't know if you saw it when you and Alana were talking, Clint. I'm going to have to see the high leverage guys pitch before I'm willing to freak out about one bad bullpen game, which was really 1.5 bad relievers today.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys who didn't pitch tonight. Let's see, and let's run through these super chats we have, because there's a lot. El Capitan, $4.99 for the Kevin Needs a Backdrop Fund. I don't know if you were watching.
I really want to touch on this. Alana, gave me some flack about not having a backdrop because she uses like the Zoom blurred out situation. She also doesn't have a backdrop, so we don't know if she has any Dodgers gear back there. So we are effectively on the same plane. So I just,
Damn, I can't
Kevin
believe
and Alana fight at Richie's house.
By the way, she has a photo of her and Vin Scully behind her, along with like a microphone.
Well, I wouldn't know that because it's blurred. So
yeah.
We have a $9.99 super chat from our buddy Pat Dwyer. Didn't add a comment, just wanted to give us money. That's the best kind of super chat, Pat. But Pat's comments are always good too. We've got one from Charlie, $9.99. It's Cucamonga here. I'm going to game 2, left field bleachers. You're going to make it. I won't be there. I don't think any of the three of us will be at the game tomorrow, unfortunately.
I'm not allowed to go to the games, even if they're cheaper. I got to be here. I live here. I mean, it's my house. Of course I live here.
You got a post game with Alana.
We're post-gaming and post gaming and
Kevin.
pre-gaming. And Dodgers better win this shit.
$4.99 from Ray Soto. Fans leaving by the 7th. Have they not seen this bullpen at all? You know what? It is a school night. I
think that's so weak. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's a school night, but I've never even been to a postseason game. So to leave early to me is just kind of crazy. Yeah. I would never, because I mean, maybe they've been to a lot. So for them, it's no big deal. But
the only person I know who I know personally who left tonight was because it is a school night. He was there with his son, and they have been to many postseason games, and it was 10-2 when they left. And so despite that 8th inning, not that much actually happened after they left. So, and one last super chat for now, hopefully not last for the night, because we'll take more. Oh no, there's 2 more. Seth Klein again, $2, says Alana would take Kevin. No arguments there. Probably. And S. Peterbilt, what's his name? Steve? His name's Steve, right?
Steve, yeah, Steve, yeah.
Are the big games locking in Teo and Trinan? That's
and
what
Tommy
I want to
segue.
Yeah, that we'll call that a segue, because the fact is, I never even did put up the graphic for the one bad inning. I guess I didn't want to dwell on the negative, but I'm jumping back into the second positive, because the fact is the Dodgers did win this baseball game comfortably, more comfortably than it felt at times. I guess maybe that's a oxymoron, because comfort is a feeling, and so if you didn't feel comfortable, I never felt worried about the game because they were up by a lot of runs, and the offense was the big reason for that. Blake Snell obviously was a big part of it, but the offense putting up 10 runs. I would venture to say, even with this bullpen, every game the Dodgers score 10 runs in this postseason, they will win. That, it's not guaranteed, but that's my guess with how the starting pitching is. And so putting up 10 runs, hitting 5 home runs, 2 homers each from Shohei Ohtani. Nobody called that one earlier today. Nobody predicted a Shohei homer. And Teoscar Hernandez had 2 homers. Tommy Edman had a home run. The whole offense, like you look at Andy Paez and Max Muncy, both had bad games offensively. Everybody else did something. Even Alex Call came in as a pinch hitter for Kike and dumped in a single that led
to
a couple runs. Ben Rortvedt, RBI single later that inning. It was a very, very good game. I called a homer and a double for Mookie Betts. He got there in spirit, 2 singles, but that's the right number of hits.
Yep.
So
He also smoked the ball. He was not far from hitting a home run in that second at bat either. So,
and this was all against Hunter Green. I mean, not all against Hunter Green, but they knocked Hunter Green out of the game in the 3rd inning because Hunter Green's very good, and the Dodgers treated him like he wasn't very good, Clint.
Yeah. Anytime you're able to chase somebody of the ilk of Hunter Green with the stuff he has after just 3 innings, you're going to feel really good. But everything, leading up to that bullpen game, and if you, that 8th inning for the bullpen, if you just remove that, this is kind of what we were expecting from this team. This season is now here for the Los Angeles Dodgers, particularly for the bats, particularly for Teoscar Hernandez, who very much said, allow myself to reintroduce myself. 162 games was just extended spring training for these boys. But the starting rotation that they have and the ability for everybody in that lineup to chip in 1 through 9, like you said, they are not going to be, I think you said, I don't know, I'm going to put the words in your mouth either way, they are not going to be the reason the Dodgers lose in the postseason. Absolutely not.
Yeah. And if they hit well, they will be the reason the Dodgers win despite the bullpen. The bullpen won't be as bad as it was tonight most of the time. And if the offense won't score 10 runs a game, but if they can score some runs, starting pitcher does their job, this team can easily win it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the one thing the offense does is you never feel out of it with this offense. Even in close games, you always feel like they can add on. No deficit is necessarily too large. Or maybe 10-2 might have been, but you feel very confident with Shohei Ohtani. And I think that having guys like Teoscar and Tommy Edman produce like they did today means Kike, I think he was 2 for 3. I think that means a lot simply because it shows, okay, it doesn't have to be Mookie, Freddie, Shohei. It can, we can get some of the role, because if you get a couple of the role players to produce on a nightly basis, all it takes is one of the superstars to just kind of put out, or to have a knockout punch. It doesn't take a lot. So I as great as it was to watch Shohei go yard twice, I was more impressed and happier with Teo going yard twice and Kike producing, because that's what they're there for. That's why, Geektober isn't technically here. Well, it is for me now for the last 5 minutes, but it's good that they're going to produce, or they're there to produce, so that the guys at the top don't have to feel so much pressure, and they don't have to feel like they have to play outside themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. With Ohtani, that's what he does. He hits home runs. Teo, it's like, ooh, we need this version of Teo. $2 super chat from Cole. How about Ohtani's absolute piss missiles? One of my favorite baseball terms. Both of them over 113 miles an hour.
Crushed.
117.
117 off a 100.4 mile an hour pitch. Like,
I say Richie just sent a super chat, but I was also going to borrow a Richieism, which is not necessarily his, but I'll give it to him, which is crushed, pissed on, check that baseball for urine, but also he really wants you to get a bed sheet or just something for your background, Kevin.
Yeah.
Have you thought about having a man cave?
Hey, we got another $5
require me to have an extra room.
Seth Klein says all we have to do is score one more run than the other team, which is absolutely right. And today they scored 5 more, so that should count as 5 wins. I think that means we're up 3-0 in the NLDS now. Oh, we just won the NLDS. Sweet. A couple other non-super chats. Bruce Davis says, Jeff, this pen been trash all season long. And that's kind of my point. The Dodgers won 93 games, finished in first place with the pen being trash all year long. And that was with the offense slumping for 2 months. That was with the starting pitching being injured early in the season. This version of the offense with this version of starting pitching, the bullpen can continue to be trash and the Dodgers can still win. I don't think they will be as bad as they were tonight. But even if they were, we saw tonight, they can win a game literally when they're as bad as they were tonight. And they won comfortably.
I doubt anybody looked this up. Did the bullpen ever walk 4 guys in 1 inning at all this year? Like that was just
like
a
trying to do it
complete
himself
aberration.
once. I feel like there was that
No, he gave up a double and then a single and then
the Yamamoto no hitter game. How many did he walk in that game? I know that there was too many walks in that game. There was definitely too many walks this year, but not 4 in a row. Not
4 in
Edgardo
a lot
facing 3 batters and getting 0 outs. Noah Ortega $1.99 says $1 plus 99 cents equals $1.99. Hashtag math baby. Noah is our little math baby, you know.
Yeah. And YouTube takes 30% of it, by the way, because they're cool like that.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Sick.
Yeah, anyway.
I love Denny Cortez also helping out. Just put the rolling shower curtain, on a laundry rack. Just saying, we can figure it out. We can figure out Kevin's background.
Just green screen it and just put Alana's background behind you. I do want to jump into one other comment. Like, we got to bring this up. Don't care 187. ESPN sucks. Cut in the middle of Ohtani home run. This caused Clint to say F words on his other show. ESPN, like, they've been broadcasting sports games for like my whole life. And that's a long time. Look at all this gray hair. All this gray hair has happened during the time that ESPN has been doing sports games. And yet they haven't figured out how to, like, the point of having multiple networks is, we can broadcast 2 games. If they overlap, hey, we'll start this game on ESPN2, then we'll switch over to ESPN. What you do is you have the announcers say, just so you know, if you're looking for the Dodgers and Reds, you'll find it on ESPN2 until this game concludes. And you have the announcer on the Dodgers game saying, after this at bat, we will be switching over to ESPN now that the Yankees Red Sox are done. And in no situation ever do you just cut in the middle of an at bat, especially when that at bat is Shohei MF Ohtani.
It's the equivalent of when you're sitting and people are walking up and down the aisles mid at bat. That's just a very big pet peeve of mine. It's like, can you just wait either between innings or after the at bat? Because going to Petco with my friends, they don't see Shohei Ohtani all the time, and so big time Padres fan. But like they would get mad when people would walk up and down the aisle when Shohei was batting. It's like, hey, it's like a unicorn. This is the best guy alive. So
whoever pushed that button doesn't watch baseball, doesn't know about baseball, doesn't understand baseball, may not understand sports.
ESPN, so of course they don't watch baseball.
Yeah,
ESPN
but they ought to at least understand sports. Like, they're flipping between football games all the time. Like I just
don't put the intern in the director's chair. You don't do that. ESPN, get yourself a better director. That was very.
If they need one for baseball postseason, I can do it.
And those of you who are watching on cable, like, were able to they switched it, so you flipped over to ESPN.
You still wouldn't have had time to see Shohei.
No. I missed Mookie's hit after Shohei's homer because I was watching on MLB TV, and so I had to wait until somebody at MLB or wherever switched that feed over. So I actually got to watch 2.5 minutes of a WNBA press conference.
Oh, thoughts and prayers to you, my friend. That is
that
is awful.
Yeah.
No, it's bad. It's terrible. It's embarrassing. And yes, so I had posted something on Twitter, not being happy. Some fan said, everybody else was also angry with me. One idiot who was like, "Oh, they told you multiple times they were going to do it." Yes, they did, but still, you would assume they would, at the bare minimum, finish the at bat. Leave people. Listen, people can wait for the WNBA when the unicorn is up. my sweet God, absolute failure. And then also them, messing up Alden Gonzalez's interview with Tito Francona and all of that. Just bad overall. The audio mixing in their broadcast where you can barely hear the crowd noise. All of it is terrible.
Yeah,
They had a different camera angle too, right? For behind the pitcher, because it looked like it was over Blake Snell's right shoulder more. It didn't look like the traditional Dodger Stadium camera.
I didn't notice.
They do love bringing in their own cameras, but yeah, I think I would have noticed.
Yeah, if anybody at ESPN is listening, what you do is you have the announcers on the Dodgers-Reds game say, for those of you who have been watching Red Sox-Yankees, we are now at Dodgers-Reds. We're currently carrying this on both ESPN and ESPN2. At the conclusion of the bottom of the first inning, we will be switching to just ESPN. Your ESPN, you can show the same game on 2 channels for 5 minutes to make sure that nobody misses something like, Shohei Ohtani homering in his first home run in his first at bat of the postseason. Just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and easily avoidable.
Just bad.
Yeah, $2 super chat from Cole. Dodgers 10, Reds 5, all other wild card teams combined 11. Yeah, it was a low-scoring day across baseball except for this game. And the Dodgers themselves
games are so good to watch.
Scored almost as many runs as all the teams, the 6 teams in the 3 other games combined. So,
yeah.
So
we're done complaining about
it was
ESPN.
a good day.
I guess that could be done.
Yeah,
could be done.
The ESPN, we have to put up with them for another game, right?
Yeah, I really wish they had that option where we could listen to the radio broadcast. I also wish we could have the home broadcast, but
they're not carrying the game tomorrow.
They are. That's what I mean. One more game.
One more game, and then
and they're just doing the wild card, and then it'll switch to NBC and Fox.
Is it still TBS and Fox like it used to be? I don't know.
Probably should. We'll figure that one out when we do an in between series episode on Thursday, because there won't be a game on Thursday. Yeah. The final one I had from the chat from Kevin Uhas and producer Kevin opening up about his fandom, Cubs and Padres fan with an alleged love for the Dodgers. I love it when people poop all over Kevin.
Stop
call me OBJ.
Guys. I thought there was one last thing I wanted to talk about, and it's it's TBS and Fox. The National League NLDS will be on TBS, the ALDS will be on Fox, and then the same with the NLCS, TBS, ALCS, Fox, and then obviously the World Series is on Fox. So we're done with ESPN. Hopefully after tomorrow, if the Dodgers can finish this off. Yeah, we won't have Joe Davis until the World Series. If you do have a TV provider that shows the games, you can connect your TV provider account to your MLB TV account, watch the games through MLB TV, and use the audio switcher functionality. Unfortunately, that didn't work today. It wasn't synced up. It was off by like 8 seconds. And so what I ended up doing was playing the audio on my phone of Steven Nelson and Rick Monday and syncing it up manually and listening to it that way. Hopefully that will be working better tomorrow, because that is a good option to listen to a local broadcast, because Steven Nelson and Rick Monday do a very good job.
Yeah, I was trying to do that. I couldn't make it work the way I needed it to. So I suffered. We did get a shout out from Boog, because he did say
it's been all Dodgers.
So yeah,
we know what he meant.
Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe and all that. I had one more I really wanted to bring up. I forget who asked the question in the comments, but it was something about I think who gets in the game, or Mr. Crushgut saying who pitches out of the bullpen tomorrow. I'll ask this to end the show. If there is a spot, if there's a scenario, if there's a situation where it makes sense for Alex Vesia to come in and pitch again, would you bring him in, Kevin?
No.
Jeff?
I'm looking. He threw
like 18 pitches, almost 20, maybe 20.
22 pitches today, and wasn't good. I probably would be inclined to not bring him in tomorrow, unless if it was a low leverage thing and he said, "I want to get back on the horse." If he wants it, if he thinks that's going to be good for him. I'm hoping there's going to be more low leverage tomorrow, because Zach Littell is not as good a pitcher as Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Hashtag math baby. The Dodgers offense is better than the Reds offense. This should be a blowout tomorrow. I hope it is, so that they can, if Vesia wants to get back on the horse. Edgardo, I don't think, how many did he throw? I know none of them were strikes. 18 pitches.
Yeah, at one point, like
strikes.
he threw 12 pitches and nine of them were
18
balls.
pitches, 7 strikes. So
Will Klein is eligible for the DS roster, right?
Yes.
not until the end of the DS. It's like
Really?
because it's 15 days. Yeah.
I thought it was just the series.
No.
I think. Okay, just one more question. Then, if it is a blowout in general, or if they have a comfortable lead, let's say 5 runs, would you pitch Robleski or Sheehan and have them take down multiple innings, knowing that the next game would be on Saturday, or would you just not pitch them and keep them as fresh as possible and just go with guys like Roki? Or
I think tomorrow, if you have a lead, you're not worrying about fresh. You are going for the jugular. You're getting the game. They've said Sheehan's going to be a 1-inning guy. I don't know if he'd go multiple. Robo is going to be a multi-inning guy. But yeah, I mean, if Yamamoto goes 7 tomorrow, then yeah, step on their necks and throw Emmett Sheehan and Justin Robles, or Emmett Sheehan and
Tanner Scott?
It depends on the score. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tanner Scott tomorrow if there's a low leverage situation.
Yeah, I really like the idea of 6 or 7 out of Yamamoto, and then Robleski.
Roki is the other one I was thinking of. Go Sheehan and Roki. Yama for 7, Sheehan for 1, Roki for 1, bing, bang, boom. One last thing we should talk about. Devin Perez says Kike will probably be down tomorrow. Kim will take a spot. Kike was pinch hit for tonight. Did they touch on that after the game?
Yeah, Dave said he's going to be in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Dave said he removed him for lower back tightness, but he will be playing tomorrow.
Okay, good.
And he, as in Kike, not Dave. Dave's not playing.
Dave's not? Okay. Is he available to pinch run?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's for Ben Rortvedt.
One last super chat. Doesn't have to be the last one, guys. There's still time to get them in. $20 from Kevin Uhas, superstar Kevin Uhas, my favorite Kevin. Just to chat to show you guys are cool. No, showing that you're cool, Kevin. Not
Appreciate
you, Kevin.
I'm
Kevin
pretty
Uhas.
awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
No.
If Kevin Uhas was podcasting, he'd have a nice background. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, if you look, where is it? Somewhere behind me, there is a bobblehead that Kevin Uhas sent me in the mail the other day.
What a guy.
Where I put it on the shelf.
Gentleman and a scholar.
Kevin could have put that behind him next to the magic.
It's right
bullet.
there. You can see it. So just above. Nah.
This is riveting.
See, I prefer having the soda stream and the
right there.
espresso.
Last year's Tyler Glasnow bobblehead. So Kevin just sent me that the other day.
Did it come with his arm in the sling?
I don't remember.
I'm assuming we're pretty much near the end of this. If not, I need to jump out so I can start editing the Dodgers territory or whatever. But before we do sign off, I want to thank a lot of the people hanging out with us in this chat. Of course, both shows went off tonight. We appreciate you guys supporting us with just your clicks. If you didn't support with super chats, clicks, likes, subscriptions, all of that kind of stuff really go a long way. The name sometimes at the end, but Ivy Stroking.
Oh, Clint.
He really wasn't interested.
Hey, you're back.
We appreciate you.
You disconnected, but now you're back.
Okay, well, I said a lot of people's names.
Yeah. If you didn't hear your name, just assume that Clint said your name while he was disconnected. We are currently 169 subscribers away from 20,000. So please jump that in. $5 super chat for Seth Klein. Stop giving Kevin a hard time. That's going to take more than $5 to do that. Seth, sorry about that. Wow, Clint's gone again. Maybe Clint doesn't.
It's
like
unraveling at the seams. We should let's end it now.
But we mentioned the Discord. If you want to jump into our Discord server, go to patreon.com/realfrg. $5 a month level gets you access to our Discord, where you can melt down with a bunch of other Dodger fans anytime you want. With that said, thank you to the Bleav Network. Thank you to our sponsor, FanDuel. Thank you for Clint for jumping back in. Hey, Clint, how you doing?
Oh, I liked it better when it was a QR
Dodgers?
code.
No idea, but my thing just straight dipped. I thought you guys broke.
No, it was you. Yeah, twice now. But that we were just saying the thank yous. I thanked Bleav. I thanked FanDuel. I thanked all the listeners, the chat, big chat tonight. Thanks to our mods, et cetera, et cetera. Thanks to the Dodgers for winning. Do it with less stress tomorrow, please. And with that said, I think all that's left to say is bye.
Bye.